Module 5, we've turned the corner. We're moving into the second half of the course. So we'll dig further into the real mechanics of putting together a project. Chapter 6 gets us moving into project activities. We assume at this point that we have selected which projects to do. So we've got that strategic side of the project organization and moving much tighter into these mechanics, project activity planning. So conceptually, think of we've decided which projects to do. We have, or we've got the workings of a project charter, really important document that I'll discuss further in this week's content video. And then we need to convert that project charter, which has a textual kind of high-level vision of what the project is, into a work breakdown structure and a responsibilities matrix. So big steps this week in actually successfully developing and executing a project. So here we are, Chapter 6. We're going to just zero in on that this week. There is an assigned problem. It says problems, but it's just one. It's going to ask that you actually develop a work breakdown structure, and I provided a template for that. I also have an article out there which is not about work breakdown structures or project charters. It's actually about project risk. Risk is such a huge issue for projects that it seems to be the last thing we do when developing a project is actually to consider what might go wrong and then putting things in place to ensure that if something goes wrong that we can quickly respond and that we know how we're going to respond. So project risk, again, a huge item that is not well addressed often in project management, and it's often the reason that projects fail. Either they don't meet their budget, they don't meet their schedule, they don't meet their scope, or they fail at all three. And that often comes back to project risk, things we should have considered but didn't. So we'll have a discussion forum around that article to start discussing the issues of risk. So again, Chapter 6, I call it my clouds to clarity. That's where we've got a general concept of the project, and we need to refine that and work into a structured work breakdown, a WBS, a work breakdown structure, where we will identify all of the major activities that will need to occur in order to complete the project. And the concept is that if the activity is not identified in the work breakdown structure, so we forget that we needed to order the tent for our event, then it won't be in the budget, it won't be in the schedule, and it won't get done, and so our project will fail. So the work breakdown structure, converting those concepts into actual activities, huge step in the life of a project, and we're going to try that out with the assigned problem. We'll also discuss responsibility charts, which then moves those activities into who's doing those activities. So it's connecting the dots. We're working through a very logical process here, and then we'll have that article to discuss on risk. I really encourage you to take a listen to the Chapter 6 content video as well as to read the chapter. I'll provide some examples of projects I've worked on and how to connect the dots on these really critical tools of project management. As always, the Course Cafe is open for venting, and I also open up an open forum as well as the required forum for the article. The open forum is for you to post any questions you have about the chapter and the materials that we're covering. So good luck this week. I realized that my slide says Module 6. We're actually in Module 5. Don't want to rush it too much, but it's Module 5 in Chapter 6. Have a great week.